Welcome to today's laughter-filled episode of Art of Parenting. I am your host, Nicky Rishi, here to explore the hilariously honest side of motherhood with our wonderful guest, Linda Fruits, the mastermind behind Fruits of Motherhood. Linda's unique voice in parenting brings humor, authenticity, and a much-needed reality check to the conversation around motherhood. Her journey encompasses not just the joys and challenges of raising three vibrant children, but also navigating an unconventional family structure with grace and humor. Through her candid blog, posts, relatable comics, and book, The Mom Life, Linda has carved out a space where honesty meets hilarity, offering support and solidarity to parents everywhere. Join us as we dive into her world, discussing everything from mindfulness in motherhood to adventures in camping with kids, all through Linda's uniquely humorous lens. Welcome, Linda. So good to have you on our podcast today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Let's discuss your approach towards motherhood. Breaks the mold by injecting humor and realness into every aspect. We love how you do that. What is Fruits of Motherhood and what inspired you to start it?
So I actually started Fruits of Motherhood because I was holding a 3-month-old in my arms, wondering if I had ruined my life. And I mean that in the most loving way possible. And I had to convince myself that people have multiple children on purpose, so it must get better. And it's kind of ironic that I now have 3. But as most new moms, when they're holding a newborn in one arm, they have their phone in the other. So all I was seeing on social media was these picture perfect lives. And I was wondering why it was so much harder for me, why my life didn't look like that, and why was it so easy for everyone else. And that is how Fruits of Motherhood was born. And, I take pride in kind of showing the messy, the authentic, the real side of motherhood. And that's how we started this account.
Mom Life has resonated with so many parents. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and then share the journey of turning your experiences into a book?
Yeah, absolutely. So just for people that don't know, on Fruits of Motherhood, I write like a couple sentences a day and I post it like most people do. Sometimes people call that memes, but I was approached by a literary agent. And so I wrote the book, The Mom Life, while parenting my 2 boys, while I was living with my then husband. And, I was really trying to create a book for moms that's like a cheerleader book. Like we have all these parenting books, like how to parent your kids, how to do everything else, but nothing goes back to the mom, like what they need, what they're experiencing, the process that they go through. And so I wanted to create a book that kind of spoke to that part of the evolution of moms.
And what we've noticed also on your profile is like the family dynamics are pretty incredibly unique. How do you think that has influenced your content and your views on parenting and the book that you were just talking about?
Yeah, so my parenting situation is very unique. I have 3 parents under one roof, and obviously before I was in such a situation, I definitely didn't picture myself being in such a situation. I understand that some people are very confused by it. So I live with my ex-husband. We're actually technically still married. We didn't get the official documents yet. We've been separated for about like 3 years. And my girlfriend lives with us. I came out later in life, and we have 3 children. So I had 2 kids with my ex, and the 3rd child, we used my ex as a donor with my girlfriend. So our 3 children are related. And when it comes to parenting, how that has changed everything is genuinely, you have to understand that your parenting experience is unique to you, just like my family situation is very unique to me. And it may not be for everyone, but it is for us. And I think that's the underlying message with motherhood too, is just like, it's so quick to judge or pass judgment or, say like, oh, that would never work. And what moms can do. And it's the same thing with us and our family. It's just truly unique to each family.
That is a very interesting situation indeed. And the fact that you have learned how to balance it so well and be out there with that balance and showcase that it can work with strong values and a good, healthy family system, that is a challenge in of itself, right? And speaking of so many challenges, that you're going through in this unique situation, or moms go through in general, self-care is one of the ones that is a recurring theme as a challenge in your work. How do you balance that with the demands of motherhood, your career, the unique situation, everything we're talking about?
Yeah, self-care is like a very fun buzzword for moms because I think first you have to figure out what actually fills up your cup and then how to make time for it. Like it's a multi-step, and then who takes care of the kids while you're doing such.
Yeah.
But the number one thing I always go back to is that it's still worth it. Like everything seems to get a little bit more complicated after you have children. There's so much more that we have to think about, but we can't forget about ourselves because in order for our kids to be happy, like we have to be happy. Our happiness can not only depend on our children's happiness. Like we're still a person, we still have, joy that we want to chase and dreams that we want to follow. And it's part of like rediscovering yourself as well after having kids. That is part of self-care.
And part of self-care is also having your own village to support you through it all, right? Whether it's the physical help you need, the emotional part. Your content does provide a sense of community for many parents feeling isolated in their experiences. How important has this community been to you, and what impact has that had on your followers, whether we're talking about the unique situation, building a village, having a community of a different sense, whatever it is that means to you?
So I guess people don't really think about it in this sense, in this perspective, but when I post something online that I'm like, okay, this is truly unique to me, this is my only pain point, no one else is gonna, maybe not resonate with this. Like, I don't know. When I post something, I have no idea how it's gonna perform. And then when thousands of people are like, oh my gosh, me too, I don't think that they realize that also makes me feel secure. It's like a two-way street that they're like, oh my gosh, me too. And I'm like, oh, thank gosh, I'm not the only one, It's been really moving to have it's an online village of just like the me too of motherhood.
It's a virtual village, and that's what MissPoppins is doing as well, is realizing the gap that exists right now, and the modern generation of parents going more digital and still bringing that sense of community and coaching and mentorship to parents through different frameworks. It's just so important. You can't ever miss that connection and community part. For sure. What were your top two experiences that you're talking about right now, where you felt like everyone resonated with you, you felt alone at the moment, but when you put it out there, it had a following, just so folks know that it can very much happen to them as well? Is there any particular experience or two to highlight?
I will definitely say that the day that I posted about me coming out, that kind of blew me away. I was so nervous because I had no idea how it was going to be perceived. And I was just like, I was making jokes online, let's say, about like not wanting to sleep with my husband. And like, everyone's like, me too. And I was like, okay, this is normal, right? But then when I actually realized that wasn't the case for me, and I came out on this platform, the outpouring of support and understanding blew me away to the umpth degree, because not only did I see how supportive everyone is of each other in that very moment, but also how these moms are going to be with their children later in life when they come out, or it just kind of opened this world to such a supportive new generation of moms.
And let's talk about that aspect a little bit more, right? In one of your Q&As with your non-birthing partner, there was a unique perspective shared on family dynamics. So let's talk about how this experience of coming out, outpouring of support, maybe some challenges you faced and navigated, how has that experience shaped your understanding of parenthood?
Wait, can you repeat that one more time?
Sure.
Yeah.
So you having the experience of going through this concept with a non-birthing partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
How has your experience shaped your understanding of parenthood?
Yeah, so being on the other side of the hospital bed, the other side of the stirrups, it definitely came with like a whole new, just being the outsider and watching her go through some of the same things that I went through, the hormonal shifts, the emotional kind of roller coaster that you go on. And for the first time, like I knew what she needed as the non-birthing partner because I had been through it 2 times before. And it's just the amount of like patience that you need for one another. Like we are not ourselves after we have kids for like quite some time. I know there's like
maybe years.
Yeah, they say like 2 years or plus. Like I think everyone has their own timeline on that. And so that's something that we talked about over and over again. And I just would like, if she was having a bad day, I'm like, go take a nap. Like I know I needed that, right? I was like, go lay down and we'll talk about this after. And 99% of the time that problem is now gone.
Gosh, taking a nap in the middle of the day, whether it's a toddler, infant, or us, I think that would be a great piece of advice. You've also offered quite a lot of advice from moms in the postpartum period. What's one piece of postpartum wisdom you wish every new mother knew?
Yeah, this is like one thing that Maddie and I talked about at length. And it was just that it's probably not going to go the way you think. And that's okay first. But then the second part is that you have to be flexible, like flexible with your baby, flexible with your expectations, flexible with yourself, the recovery and what you can do, what you can't do. It's a lot. The main thing is just to be flexible with you, yourself, your family, everyone, and you're gonna have to just ride the waves a little bit.
Yes, it's not just postpartum. You'll have to do that it's going to be throughout the parenting journey. I feel it doesn't always get to be a smooth ride, probably first 3-4 years, but especially having that new transitionary mindset as a new parent, it's helpful. The last question is more about body image and body positivity. I think that's such a big topic, of course, in our children's world, but also I think parents go through that quite a bit. And one of the biggest posts that resonated of yours was on body positivity and self-care. How do you maintain a positive body image and teach our children to do the same in today's society?
Yeah, I mean, as women, we all know what we grew up with, the examples of like how you have to lose weight all the time, 24/7. I actually just saw like a post today, and the goal is to not bounce back. Like it's not, you're a completely different person. There's no going back anymore. And that's okay. It's scary, but it's more than okay. And I just think that a lot of times people start working out for the wrong reasons. Like they just do it to lose weight. And the biggest shift in my experience with postpartum is that like it can work out, but it's going to be a celebration of what your body can do versus like what I ate today. Like we're not punishing ourselves. And that way it's like you're working out for your mental health and your physical health. And it's not about the scale. It's just, you want to be the best version of yourself, like moving forward. And so it's not about losing or bouncing back is the big thing.
I think that adds to so much stress, whether it's to do with breastfeeding, whether it's to do with your patience and your mental health and stability with kids too, right? So accepting the new version, it's a challenge, but I think that's a great way and a great segue into this new journey of parenthood. Thank you, Linda, today for sharing your journey and wisdom with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Laughing our way through today's conversation with Linda Fruits has been an absolute delight. Linda's candidness and humorous provides a fresh perspective on the trials and triumphs of motherhood, reminding us all to find joy and laughter in the chaos of it all. Remember, the art of parenting comes with its fair share of challenges, but it's the laughter and love that make it all worthwhile. Stay tuned for more insightful and uplifting episodes here on MissPoppins, Art of Parenting. Until then, I'm Nikki, signing off. Thank you.